quick points before we get into the main discussion this week. One, yes, I have heard of the whole YouTube Heroes thing that's going around. I have been made keenly aware, thanks to the hundreds upon hundreds of other videos that other people have made who have covered the subject way better than I ever have, because they've been on this site way longer than I have. It's one of those things I definitely considered talking about, mostly because this is my job. It is something that affects me and affects you, considering the site you're watching this on. However, I'm not the only one in that position, so people just kind of jumped on that one. I feel like there's nothing I can really add to that conversation. Except for one thing. I just want to say right now, believe it or not, I did actually apply for the YouTube Heroes position. And I'll tell you why. It was because of one thing. One particular perk that you get. It's the fact that at a certain level you get to contact YouTube staff directly. And I pretty much saw that as job insurance. Like, when the bots screw up, and not if, when the bots inevitably screw up and make my entire channel implode in on itself and just destroy my livelihood, if I was a YouTube hero at that level, I would have the tools I needed to fix the problem and get everything back on track as soon as possible. So, if anybody... sadly, they have not gotten back to me yet, is the only problem, which makes me think they might have actually cancelled the program altogether, considering the extremely negative reception that it got. As many people have pointed out, I find it kind of funny that they disabled the comments on the announcement video for this, the comments made by the same people that they are entrusting to become heroes in the first place and police this site. Well, better luck next time, right, guys? But the other thing I want to talk about is actually a lot more personal. It's related to this show in particular, this series of shows. Like, we're 52 episodes into this now, which, again, constantly changing, constantly evolving, and in the spirit of getting feedback from you guys like I have been lately, I've actually talked about this before, is renaming the show. Like, Fnu Rants has kind of a negative connotation, like ranting, raving, just throwing bile and anger out there, and those of you who have watched for a while know that's not really what I try to go for, so I asked a while ago if you guys wanted me to rename the show, and you came up with a couple really good names. The first is Fnu's Forum, which I like a lot for a couple reasons. One, it's search engine optimization. It has my name in it, so people will be able to find it, and subsequently me, very easily with that one. Plus it gets rid of the ranting thing, and it has alliteration, so it's actually easier, even easier to remember. It sounds a lot more original, it's a little bit of basic wordplay given, but it's still really clever. But there are two other ones that I got that I really like. One is Topics and Tangents, which is also a little bit of alliteration, and it also stands out. I've Googled that, and nobody really has anything called that yet. And the only problem, like I said, my name is not in it, so it might confuse people a little bit. They're like, well, who actually makes this show? They don't necessarily immediately make the connection. The other name that I was really considering was Progressive Scam, which, if you don't know what that is necessarily and you Google it, you realize it's actually kind of a neat play on words for what I actually do on this show. Problem, somebody already has another show named by it, and it's Geek and Sundry, who is way bigger than I am, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys on this one. I know what I like, but I want to know what you like. Like, do I even need to change the name of the show? Do you think it would be kind of confusing to the people who are already here if I just suddenly shifted gears towards something else? Or do you have something completely different that you think would be even better? Let me know in the comments below, and hey, we'll go from there.
There's a running gag in Teen Pizza. Hidden in the Truth really likes Miku Hatsune, so every time a game comes out that stars her, he wants it. Coincidentally, these games usually come out around either his birthday or near the end of the year, so I'm always willing to buy it for him as a present. But we're both kinda strapped for cash, so the deal is that I get to use it to make a review first. Sadly, between packing, moving, getting resettled, and, well, just general laziness, I kinda missed my window for a review of the latest entry to be relevant anymore. However, that doesn't mean there aren't elements of Project Diva X that are worth talking about, specifically the importance of keeping your creative ambitions in check. Let's take my team as an example. Many of the ideas we've tried in the past were, suffice to say, a little over our heads. Some of you might be familiar with Miku's Lullaby, formerly known as Magical Kingdom, and how we quickly realized that a platformer RPG hybrid with an anime art style was a bit much for a team of 5 that's also got day jobs to worry about. So we toned it down to a shmup, which is a genre Tunican has already worked on before. The problem this time is that we tried to do too big of a shmup, one that had 3D elements later on, a fully voiced cast in places, and an electronic and metal soundtrack that I am nowhere near skilled enough to compose yet. So now we're talking about something that plays to all of our strengths, a visual novel. It lets me flex my muscle as a writer, it'll be relatively easy to program, and because it's nothing but static images, it won't chew up too much of Drawman's time either. That's not to say we won't try to put our best effort in and make it stand out, but in all honesty, I've realized at this point that your first game is a lot like your first pancake. No matter what you do, it's going to come out a little misshapen and burnt, but that's fine. You're not on Iron Chef. This is about getting a feel for how the process even works, so you can learn from your mistakes and build something better next time. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and make enough money off of this to do those other ideas in the future. The point is, I am keenly aware of what the strengths and weaknesses of my team are right now. But we're just indie guys. It's a little easier for us to grasp the scope of a project. So how do you keep tabs on your capabilities when you have a whole world of possibility at your fingertips? Well, for starters, you don't do what Project Diva X's story mode did. Project Diva F and F Second were both straight rhythm games. You choose from a track list, you beat that track, and then you unlocked more tracks. It had side systems like the relationships with the characters and new outfits, but that was all optional. X changed that. Now the rhythm game has a story attached to it. It weaves this tale about dimensional travel, entire worlds losing their light, the power of song and music, and it doesn't add anything to the game in any meaningful way. At best, it serves as a roadblock interrupting the plug-and-play nature of the previous games. Like, you can't just sit down, knock out a few songs in your spare time, and be done with it. No, characters will have dialogue and plot for you. They'll spend a few minutes explaining to you why playing through these songs is important, when before, playing through them just for fun was reward enough. I bought this specifically because I like the music, so if it doesn't help me listen to more music, I'm not really interested. But you don't understand. It's got RPG elements now. Now the outfits and accessories have stats and abilities attached to them that change how you play and force you to wear the exact same things for every song. Okay, to me, the appeal of outfits in a game is that, to an extent, they let you make the characters your own. It gives you that added little bit of agency, or at least an illusion of it. Plus, in Project Diva, there are also rewards for doing well. By beating that song, you got an outfit tailored to it. By playing perfectly, you essentially got to see the music video the way it was intended. Or you could just mess around and make it ridiculous on purpose. The point is, that was your choice. You had the freedom to go either route, with no pressure to follow one path or another. In X, however, the auras and abilities make some outfits objectively better than others. You have no reason to wear the correct costume for a song when a different, more out-of-place one can literally be the difference between success and failure. This is why I have footage of Rin smashing a guitar and pouring all her angst into an aggressive rock song while wearing cute little bunny ears. Blackrock Groucho came into existence not because Project Diva F's system strong-armed me into it, but because the actual outfit didn't exist in that game and I decided to be a jackass. But that's one less option I don't have anymore. I always feel like I have to wear specific clothes and load them up with accessories that not only look ridiculous, but also I didn't want there to be in the first place because, well, you want to unlock everything, right? That is kind of the point. And on that note, it doesn't even matter what you make the character wear, because halfway through the song, they're going to spontaneously change into something else anyway, completely voiding the effort even if you went through the trouble of doing what looked nice. Oh, and another thing, remember that relationship mechanic I talked about earlier? That has a purpose now, too. The higher a character's affinity for you is, the faster your score multiplier will increase during songs. So you better drop everything you're doing as soon as you get gifts, because the faster you buddy up with these people, the faster you can have the stats you need to tackle the higher difficulties. Doubly so because if you ever have 2 or more gifts after a song, chances are your current singer will demand a present, outright forcing you to give them something, whether you're actually capable of fulfilling the request or not, before you can get back to the rhythm portions. So, are the devs encouraging me to get friendly as soon as possible, or just hoard my gifts for the inevitable shakedown that happens every 4 songs or so that I don't lose the relationship buildup that I've been working so diligently towards? All these conflicting systems combined meant there wasn't a single point during X where I wasn't aware I was playing a video game. And I know full well how cliché and conceited it sounds to complain about something breaking your immersion, but, well, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, yeah. What kills me is that I'm fairly certain how the game ended up like this. Systems like this are very popular in Japan right now, with RPGs being a cultural phenomenon and the slow public shift in interest towards mobile gaming. In fact, that's what Project Diva X feels like in a lot of ways. A mobile game without microtransactions to balance out the pacing. Want a particular outfit? Well, 50 cents worth of in-game currency will unlock it immediately. Tired of getting interrupted by ads? Hey, if you essentially buy the game, everybody can walk away happy. It's all of the grind and inconvenience without a way to speed it up or make it more streamlined. That's why I think what happened here is that the guys at Sega know that these trends and mechanics work in mobile gaming, but they haven't taken a moment to analyze why. Why people find them appealing, and why they result in higher profits for the devs that do them right. These mechanics just seem to be here for the sake of being here. That's a very dangerous design philosophy, and it's not one many people consciously think of, just because it's in human nature to notice what is there more than what isn't. Remember how Marvel vs. Capcom 3 didn't have Iceman as a returning character? Remember how Smash 4 got rid of tripping? Remember when Banjo-Tooie clumped notes together in 5-point bundles, reducing the chances you would miss just one and have to spend an hour combing over the entire stage again to find it? That's called addition by subtraction. It's the philosophy of having the humility and self-awareness needed to cut out some of your own ideas when they don't serve to make the game any better. It's about recognizing when something is either too ambitious to the point where you can't fully realize it, or that it just doesn't gel with the rest of the game. Imagine if I tried to put dating sim elements in Space Shift. Would people even like that in a shmup? What would I have to do to make the extra time spent not flying around blowing things up worth it? Perhaps those characters would join you as co-pilots, offering you extra firepower? It's a neat idea, but I'd have to run that by a few players to see what they thought first. And perhaps I'd find during testing that they would, in fact, just prefer to be doing what they originally came here for. It hurts. It honestly hurts realizing that some of your most precious ideas are better left by the wayside, but that's part of the learning process. The faster you can accept the cuts that need to be made, the faster you'll start making games that are beautiful because of their simplicity. And once you've mastered that, then you will know how to get ambitious.
And now we get to the outro, which the past 2 weeks I've filled up with me opening up boxes and getting my live reaction to it, and everybody helped me sing the Fnu is an Idiot song because there was a previous recording of this where I forgot to turn on my microphone. I am an idiot. I am an idiot. So this box is already open and I've seen what is in it. That's gone now. I will never have that reaction again, which is sad because this guy actually sent me video games. He went out of his way to order these off of Amazon, I might point out. Like, look at that tape. Look how fancy that is. This guy's a Prime member. Still, though, I will try to capture this as best as possible. Both of these games look awesome. They look like neat little smaller games, maybe indie games that Sony put together and it's like, you know what, we'll give you a little bit of funding to actually put them on discs. First is Lumo, which is Like, look at that little wizard dude on the cover right there. I'll try and eliminate the glare so you can see him a little better. This is a puzzle game, it looks like, if you look at the back of it. It's got this isometric view, these cube-like rooms, everything works on a grid. Reminds me a lot of a game I saw in Nintendo Power once. I think it was like Monster Max, or... I remember the main character's name was Max. He was like this gray creature made of balls, and he had a green mohawk, and he had to go around collecting things like electric guitars and boom boxes. There were all of these puzzles and items, and it worked off of that same kind of mechanics, except this looks way better than that game did, obviously, and I'm gonna stream this. I know I say that about a lot of the games, which is one of the things that this is a very interesting problem to have, because I want to stream all of these. Like, the only way I can think to say thank you for all these gifts I've been given is to, like, make some kind of video about it. And, like, show off my reactions to the game itself, but I've got so many that I've gotten from things like Steam gift cards and in boxes people have given me. I can't make videos fast enough to say thank you properly. It's a very wonderful problem to have, I must say. And the other one, Assault Suit Lanos. I think this is another, like, smaller game. I'll show this to you because this cover is pretty awesome. I think Tunican might actually like this one. He's a big fan of games like Urguys. Also, Armored Core, that was the name of the series. Raven especially, he loves that one. That's all, folks. Assault Suit Squad Scramble. It's great. I think you can see the pictures a little better on this one. It's like a side-scrolling mech combat. You've got guns, huge bosses, different stages. This looks pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. It's so humbling when I haven't had anybody tell me that I'm gonna be sent more boxes. Nobody's said on Ask FM lately that I'm gonna get anything, and you know what? If this is all of the presents I ever get, I think that's enough. Like, I would be totally happy that anybody, any one person out there thinks I was worth going out of their way like this, like spending money like this to help me, to help my job, to give me more material, more things to make videos out of, to make streams out of, episodes of RTGs out of. The fact that you guys are as excited about this content as I am, it's so wonderful. I don't know what else to say. It's just, except what I've said already, I love this job, man. I really do.